Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Local Marana Live.
Woohoo.
We're a few minutes behind today, but it's because we decided that going live on Instagram should happen. So we're doing it from our studio through our system. So if you're on Instagram and you're checking in with us today, we really appreciate it. On today's broadcast / live stream / podcast, we're going to have Heather Lappin on with us. She's a candidate for Pima County Sheriff. She's been on here before, but we're going to ask her some questions about the early voting and a couple other things, to include a recent Supreme Court ruling on the unhoused, which we'll get into. But before we get into all of that satisfying and delicious action, we're going to jump to traffic and weather with the one and only Scott Robb.
Thank you, gentlemen. This morning we've got some traffic happening. If you're interested in wanting to know whether it's hot or not, it is. So there you have it. And as far as anything else, nice and clear. If you were off to Phoenix this morning, I did want to point out real quick, we talked about signs last week and all the political signs that are out there, and Juan Ciscomani's sign being huge. But there's actually a new sign in the game, and I think you can see it. If I zoom in at Tangerine and I-10, you can see it from space. It's the new billboard that's got Mayor Ed and Zupi and Ziegler, and yeah, you can see it right around this area. And that's probably why there's no accidents, is people are all just stopping and staring at that
Gazing,
thing.
taking your pictures with it.
It's you can't miss it for sure.
You can't miss it.
We put one up there a couple years ago. Like 2 years ago? Another one?
Exactly.
Yeah, it was
2 years ago today.
Yeah, so if you have any advertising needs, you can visit our mothership website, ltdmedia.net, or you can type in livethedream.media. However tickles your fancy, you can go ahead and do that. But it's been a week.
It's been a week. It's been a month.
It's been a month this week. It was a month last week, but it's Independence Day week.
Yeah.
It's
Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday. There's some celebrations going on. One in particular is here in our area, right here at Cortero and Silverbell at the Crossroads Park. You're going to have your Marana Star Spangled Spectacular.
Tammy and I are going to...
You guys going to go?
We're going to cruise by.
There you go. You show some support.
We got invited to throw
go.
a few footballs. And
Yeah. Well, you have fun with that, because Scott and I are going to be jetting out of here, literally.
Yeah. So David's heading to the Pacific Northwest.
Washington,
and
Seattle.
Poor old Scott. You want to tell him your story, Scott? This is a bummer.
Yeah, so we had some free points and hotel stay stuff expiring, and it had to be used by July 4th. So I had to let my wife know that there was a mandatory vacation happening starting July 4th in order for us to use these points. So, we're going to be off to the islands and for a mandatory Hawaii trip, and everybody's kind of sad, but they're working through it. There's not a whole lot we can do. You just gotta use the points, or you're gonna lose them.
Yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yep.
Right. That applies to everything, I think.
Hey, and I want to do a quick shout out to our friend, our mutual friend, all of us, Kim Norman. Mm-hmm. She hooked the bride and I up a little bit over at the Westward Look. So
we're all going to get into trouble this weekend.
We're all got a little something going on.
Yeah, where's the Westward Look at? I've found that a lot of people don't know where that's at. Unfortunately,
it is just east of Oracle Road on Ina.
Yeah. Sound like
the second light.
Okay, yeah, and it's a resort. And it's got all kinds of things.
The oldest resort in the Tucson area.
Oldest resort. So I heard that's where all the movie stars would stay back in the day when they were shooting a lot of
John
those
Wayne Suite
westerns and stuff like that.
We'll have an update on that.
Okay.
The next time we go live with Local Marana, which we're
exciting.
skipping next week.
Yep, we're going to take a week off.
We are doing Edgar on the Edgar Soto candidate for Supervisor District 3 next Thursday, the 11th.
Okay.
Scott will be back from his forced trip to Hawaii. And we'll be
penalty trip.
We'll be doing that. So look for that's technically Local Marana.
Yeah.
So look for that next Thursday, everybody, on the 11th, and then we'll be back to our normal schedule, the 17th.
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll do a little we'll do a little follow up on all of our vacations.
Yeah, and it would be a disservice not to talk about the broadcast stuff that's coming this fall. We're excited about. We had a meeting this weekend of some other people interested, and we're going to be putting out some advertising for others that think they have what it takes to do this and to be part of it. And as again, we want to share that it is a paid opportunity. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and having a following and stuff like that's important. And we want people to know that before they come in. Make sure that you have an established following, that you are an active creator on social platforms, whether you're live streaming or you're putting out content videos and stuff like that. That's going to be really important going forward with this. That's really what we're going to be looking for. But we also have the weekend that we are opening up the studio on Saturdays and Sundays, where people can come and rent out and broadcast just like we are on the weekends to their channels to help maybe build themselves up to the point where they would get in on the weekday programming that we have coming.
We're excited about it. And actually, it's starting now. There's a little bit of stuff going on, and there's more coming towards the end of August, but full time.
Yeah.
We'll be blasting out in November.
Yeah. I'm going to shout out a show that's coming in August. It's Over Her Sharing with Veronica Soto. So if you have listened to Veronica on our podcast channel before, make sure you get ready to tune in, because she will be here doing video, live streaming, and podcasting all together this time. She's really excited, and she's already booked out guests, I think, well into like October.
Yeah, my calendar just keeps loading up.
Yeah, so if you are getting ready to join our program and you hear about Veronica is here for a lot of reasons. She's got a following, she's motivated, but like we said, she's already booking her guests into October, and that's the kind of individuals we're looking for, people that are going to really, really put into this, and because we're going to be putting into the individuals too, and giving them resources and helping them grow as well.
And our good friend Christopher DeSimone and his merry
Christopher
band
McNuggets.
Yeah,
that's what it sounded like you were going to say.
Merry band of misfits. He's out this week because of the holidays. He's out because of scheduling.
Yeah,
next week, but he'll be back in the middle of July.
Everybody is gone right now.
You blame
I was
us?
looking at the social media analytics for everything, and it is just tanking. And I'm looking at other creators and stuff too, and everything is just flatlined right now.
And it's not just here, although it's crazy hot. And the humidity goes with the monsoon, and so. But it's everywhere. I've used this analogy before in the market, the national market, the United States market. It's sell in May and go away.
Sell in May and go away.
Yeah, that's a standard that I've heard, a line that I've heard, a slogan that I've heard for, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
But think about it. Everybody's on vacation. The kids are out of school. You're moving around.
Yeah.
Things happen. People move more often in the summer. If you're going to move, you move in the summer. So,
which is not wise here. Both times I moved, I did it like June and July. Yeah. Just dying. Oh, I don't know why.
You know what, though?
I didn't even have kids. I don't know why I chose the summer.
I didn't plan this, but both times that I've moved in November.
Wise man.
Yeah. And the last time, let me give you a little heads up. When you get ready to move in a suitcase.
Yeah, after you told me that, I really thought about why I was bringing so much.
You're bringing all your old stuff with you.
Hey, Scott, you want to censor me on that? Ready? Here we go. Why did I bring so much? Oh.
My bad.
Wrong button. It's like on the second or third page. You want to drum roll me?
It's right there somewhere.
I held back. It's
yeah,
okay.
he did. So you heard what he really says that needs to be censored. But I'm not kidding. And it started for me when we moved here. Real quick. We moved a big, huge house, 2-story, in the rain, over Thanksgiving, 2 little that were, in the way.
There it is.
2 little blanking kids that were in the way. And when we got here, I won't get into it, but we only used the kitchen, the dining room table. Was the only thing that made it to our new house.
Wow.
When we actually moved into our new house, because we stayed in an apartment for a few months while we were looking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right then, I am moving in a suitcase the next time. And we did. Mm-hmm. We did rent a little U-Haul because, your computer and your personal items take up a little bit of space. But because you're buying new stuff if you've been at the old house.
Yeah. Here's more proof to this concept. So I moved into this new house, right? I took the couches that I had in the old house to the new house. those couches only lasted 6 months at that new house.
Yeah.
Because we had to get a bigger couch
Exactly.
because
There
there was a bigger living room, right?
Yeah, or you're downsizing because it's too small. I'm too large.
Well, that couch, the second couch, is now gone because the kids needed more room to run around.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
now we're on our third couch, right?
Yeah.
And so I look back at it, I'm like, man, I could have just came in here with nothing.
Yeah.
Started,
And
you know.
start fresh.
It-
I'm telling
it
you.
really-
There's your moving tip of the day.
Yeah. So yeah,
Hey,
there
real
you
quick
go.
note. I mentioned the dining room table made it to the new house.
Yeah.
We were bringing one of the couches that was
Mm-hmm.
being stored graciously at one of my sister's my sister's garage when she lived downtown, and we're driving this couch because we needed a couch to our new house.
Yeah.
And at Circle K there on Oracle and about I can't think, way up there north. Somebody goes, "Hey, where are you going with that couch?" And I'm like, "Do you want this?"
You sold it.
I just gave it to him out of the back of my. I was taking junk just basically because I needed a couch.
Yeah.
So I just moved it from my truck to their truck and went and bought a new couch.
Did they buy it?
I don't remember if they bought it or we gave it
just
to them.
gave it to them.
There wasn't much couch there.
Kind of rough. Yeah.
My wife was there, so she probably got some money out of it.
Yeah.
True. I don't remember the story, but
Yeah.
I do know we took it never made it to the house.
Yeah, I don't know, like, why we just brought all the stuff that was in that old house is gone now. Like we took it with us, but it's all, it's all.
I think when you do it the first few times, because you're usually younger
Yeah.
and you might not have the money to, because it's not cheap to refurnish a house.
Yeah,
And you're usually getting bigger houses. That's just what we've always done. I've heard George Carlin say that. You're just, or maybe, I don't remember George Carlin. You're just packing all your, give me my sensor there. You're just packing it and you're taking it with you. And then when you go to the islands, you just pack a smaller portion of your and you take it with you.
yes, the timing was awesome.
Impeccable.
Yes, yeah.
So,
Okay, tip of the day. Moving tip. Local Marana Live moving tip of the day.
moving luggage. Just get yourself a
Move-in
suitcase
luggage.
and moving luggage.
You can do pretty good on yard sales too.
Absolutely. Matter of fact,
I cleaned up with those a couple times.
Full disclosure, my mother and my wife, when we moved where we're at now, basically outfitted the whole house. Not everything, but most of it was because you know what? A lot of people are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They're moving. My mom and wife were talking last night. I heard them, and they said, "Remember when we went and bought this, and this? Because the people had to catch a plane at 2:00 that afternoon, and it's 11:00 in the morning. They're having their garage sale.
Right.
They just want their stuff gone.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So there you go.
Ooh, we are coming in on the break. There's the music. Hey,
Thank you, Scott.
Before we get in the break, I do want to share something with the listeners. Twin Peaks Pizzeria has just released their singles Detroit style pizzas.
I saw those pictures last night.
Yeah.
Those look good.
Yeah, so if you find yourself needing some pizza or wanting some pizza this weekend, make sure you go check out Twin Peaks Pizzeria and their new Detroit style singles. I'm gonna go grab one.
I
before
saw them.
leave.
They look good.
Yeah. So, all right, we're ready
what we
to go
got,
to
Scott?
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash.
When you call in anonymously with a tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, CopperCreekCookies.net. We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles. Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, CopperCreekCookies.net.
Are you looking to establish a powerful online presence for your brand? Look no further than Live the Dream Media. Our team of experts possess the capabilities and skills necessary to make it happen. From creating compelling content to analyzing data and making strategic decisions, we've got it covered. Don't let a lack of social media know-how hold you back. Visit ltdmedia.net for more information.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
Hi, I'm Melissa Zuppi, running for the Marana Town Council. As a resident of Marana, I've witnessed the positive growth that has created a strong community where people in all stages of life want to live. Unfortunately, with growth comes traffic. One of my top priorities and goals is to work towards securing funding for the improvement of Marana's high-traffic I-10 interchanges and local roadways. Let's keep Marana moving forward together. Vote Melissa Zuppi, Marana Town Council.
Hi, I'm Ed Honey, and I'm running for mayor of the town of Marana. I can assure you that if you have water now in the town of Marana, you will have it for the rest of your life. Water is not going to go away. Our water table in North Marana has gone from 300 feet down to 140 feet at the current status. Water will be here forever. Please support Melissa Zuppi, Roxanne Ziegler, and Ed Honey for Marana Town Council.
And we are back from our ad break, and we have somebody here with us in the studio now. Heather Lappin, thanks for coming back.
Thank you so much for having me again. It's great to be here.
We love being part of the political landscape and everything happening before the big show. You know, it's really cool because when we were building this thing, we're like, oh, how do we make this local impact happen and everything? And now we just keep getting inquiries of, you know, political candidates wanting to come and be on here. And we're like, okay, we're onto something. And then we saw an article in the Tucson Agenda for the Marana Town Council. And most of the content that they used came from interviews here and stuff going on here.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I was like, yes, this is awesome.
Very interesting,
So I want you to know that we love having you, and you're, you know, if you end up winning, you're always welcome back.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's great to be here.
So I know that the campaign folks for you were wanting to have you come on today to talk about early voting and the mail-in ballots and stuff like that. So let's get into that. What's going on right now? How do people make it happen?
So early ballots come out today. They're being mailed out today. So we should be seeing them in our boxes next couple days. And that means you have the opportunity to cast your vote for, you know, the entire thing in maybe a day or two. I mean, obviously the holiday is going to slow it up a little bit, but maybe this weekend we see them. So we have that opportunity to do it right, you know, pretty soon.
Yeah.
I mean, in-person voting is July 30th. So those people that like to do it that way, that's great. That's how I've always done it my whole voting career, if you will. But a lot of people do like to vote by mail. So
yeah. And this election is different from the one coming up, and I think sometimes people get confused as to what this election means and how it applies to the next election. Can you kind of give us some insight on that?
Absolutely. So this is the primary. The primary is going to determine who moves past. So July 30th, we're going to know, for my office, for example, for the sheriff's office, we're going to know which Democrat will move past to the general and which Republican will move past to the general. So I have two other competitors for the primary, Republican primary for the sheriff's office or sheriff's department, and the Democrats have two challengers, the incumbent and someone else.
Okay.
So once that is determined, once the primary is determined, then the two square off and they go to the November election.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot of people. It's so funny because my friend from Michigan, she said, "I'm coming out for the election July 30th." I go, it's the primary, right?
Yeah.
She's like, "Wait, what does that mean?" So I love that you asked that because a lot of people aren't super savvy. We have busy lives. We don't have time to.
Right. Yeah, and the goal with that question is to change some statistics with the voting here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 13 to 20% of the people that are eligible to vote or registered to vote are voting in these generals.
Yes.
And even the primary elections.
Primaries are even less, right?
Yeah.
So people, and I think some of the mentality that I've heard about it as well, I'll let them decide, and then once they decide, I'll vote in the general, which is okay. We'll take that, but let your voice be heard the whole way through, right? Mm-hmm. This is a very important primary, I believe, and it will determine. There's a lot of primary contests coming up on this ballot. So,
right, and Arizona just in itself is a very contentious state.
Mm-hmm.
I think. We're kind of threading that line on which party is in control and which isn't, and also we have the border, mm-hmm. which is an issue that's talked about a lot. Mm-hmm. And one person in particular, Sheriff Lamb, talks about it a lot. And I'm hoping maybe he'll reach out or we can get him on the show. But, with that being said, there's stuff.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, there's stuff going on here. And there's been there's a Supreme Court ruling in regards to some stuff that we're seeing, but we're seeing it all across the United States, mm-hmm. right? This is why the Supreme Court weighed in on it. And I kind of wanted to touch on this subject with you. And it's regarding the unhoused, mm-hmm. right? So the Supreme Court put out a ruling regarding the unhoused, which I'm seeing media entities claiming that this gives more control to law enforcement to make criminal arrests when the situation arises. I think that what I read, and you feel free to mm-hmm. correct me because mm-hmm. I'm not in law enforcement anymore, but what I was reading is once an individual is given the opportunity for somewhere to stay, mm-hmm. if they refuse to do that,
right, then
they can implement some trespassing.
Yeah. And
so what does that mean for Pima County? How would you handle that? How are you going to handle that if you are the Pima County Sheriff?
Great question. I think first and foremost, I think it's so important to have those services available for people that if they want. And I'm going to get a little anecdotal from my experiences when I was a patrol deputy. I'm very friendly. I'm very talkative. So when I would go into these encampments, I would ask questions. I was curious, mm-hmm. Hey, tell me about this. Tell me why your life is like this. Tell me, how'd you get here? What happened? And I would say there's a good portion of people that choose to live the way they live, and based on, I'll give you an example. One couple, they were a man and woman, boyfriend, girlfriend, and his dad was a lawyer, her dad was a doctor. They both had the ability to go live with their parents, mm-hmm. but not together. And they didn't want to do that. So they wanted to stay together. So to stay together, they chose to be homeless. Now, they were also addicted to heroin. That was their drug of choice at the time, but they were... So offering those services to people, I think, is so important. And I talk about this a lot. And so this isn't a secret to many people, but I do have an older son who has a drug addiction. Mm-hmm. He is 14 months clean, almost 15. It's coming up. So great success story. But here's the deal. I delivered consequences to him mm-hmm. with compassion, and I think we can do that for our homeless, unhoused populations.
Right.
We say here are your boundaries. You have to be accountable for your actions. You have to be, if you commit crimes, we have to arrest you. We can do it with compassion and continue to offer these services because it was, an arrest that I had him arrested. I changed the locks. He was homeless. I did a lot of things, but I never ever stopped believing that he could get clean. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how the mentality that we have to take with the unhoused. Like, we believe in you, but you still have to participate in society like the rest of the community. So it's not an issue. It's not a quality of life issue for our business owners, for our residents. We have to have some kind of take back that power in order to create a society that's livable.
Right. It's one of those things you can't help but ask, over the years, because this type of addiction, I think, touches every family in some shape or form with the opiates and heroin and stuff like that. I think it's touched many, many families, and it's unfortunate. And you have to go, how did it get this bad? Because I would probably say that statistics would say that this problem isn't getting better right now.
Mm-hmm. No, not at all.
Especially with hardships, individuals will find vices to, help relieve what they're going through, to ease the pain. And what do you see as a resource that you're familiar with, or something going on with inside of the county, whether it's non-for-profits or other programs that might really be important in addressing this issue? How are we going to address it? Yeah, we're talking about the accountability and everything, but what are some programs, what are some ideas you have for that?
Well, first of all, I'm a huge believer in the Transition Center. So that's the Tucson Crime Free Coalition has the Transition Center. And what that does, and that's for people incarcerated, obviously, but on a temporary basis. So when they get out of the Pima County Adult Detention Center, they have to walk through the Transition Center. And the Transition Center has all the wraparound services that are needed for this population. So they have, opportunities for housing, to apply for housing. They have opportunities to apply, to get job training. They have opportunities for the MAT services, right? So the MAT program, if you're not familiar with that, is the Suboxone to try to help people wean off of the opioids and the heroin. And so they offer all those services. But the biggest thing that they're doing, the Transition Center is doing, is trying to get them to come back for their next court hearing and, take care of the issues that they have. Because what's happening is it's a revolving door. Okay. So I arrest you, you come in, you get released like that, and you go back and you don't show up for court. So you get a warrant for not showing up for court. We have people that FTAs are like 30, 40, 50 times. An FTA is a failure to appear. So they don't ever come back to court. So it's this revolving door of come in, get released, come in, get released, come in, get released. So that's why the bail program that they're talking about, I'm blanking on the HB number, but cashless bail is what it's called. I think it takes power away from the judges to give that accountability to people like that who are not showing up to court ever, and the police officers are just using a revolving door to have them come in, they get out, have them come in, they get out. Anyway, I got on a tangent, but the Transition Center is, I believe it's a really good program. We also have some good programs within the jail that could be increased for sure. Community awareness is huge. I had somebody comment on my Facebook page about, I don't want to get in trouble for giving a handout. Nobody's saying that. Nobody is saying that it's, that's terrible. But the Tucson Crime Free Coalition does have those signs up. If you've seen them, don't give to the unhoused, give to agencies that help the unhoused.
Right.
If you've seen those on the corner.
I haven't, no.
They're all over the county.
Okay.
So they're like in the medians, and I can't remember the exact verbiage, but it's like, don't give a handout to this person, give a handout to the agency that helps this person.
Yeah.
And it's very true, because once we give them the account, or once we give them the limits, hey, you're not allowed to live here. You're not allowed to do this. We're going to arrest you. You're going to have accountability for your actions. Then they make the choice to go get help, to go do things, and we want them to make, because that's what happens. You can't make somebody get better. You just can't.
You're right. Yeah.
You cannot make somebody get better. They have to decide to get better.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question, and the answer, you give it your best shot if you can. But when did our society locally set this standard that it's in and out of the jail with this stuff? When did this occur? Because I feel like there maybe was a little more time inside of there, like someone would spend a little more time for these cases, and then it just kind of switched. And it seems like you're saying in and out, like they're here and they're gone. Like at some point, what are we doing? You say the revolving door.
It's a revolving door.
But if we're putting all this time and energy into taking these folks down there, I feel like we're just kind of spinning our wheels.
We are.
And what has caused that? Did I miss something?
There was I would say so. I mean, I think it's just about society in general is not wanting to use punishment for addiction. They're not wanting to use punishment for, misdemeanor crimes.
Punishment or accountability?
Well,
these are two different terms, right?
I get it, but that's the problem.
Yeah.
And so because of that, they're like, you shouldn't keep somebody on a misdemeanor. We shouldn't be housing people on a misdemeanor. So it's a misdemeanor versus felony. And then the judges have to decide if they're keeping them, if they're not keeping them, if they're putting a bond, if they're not putting a bond. And so I watch that every day. I watch because I get a court list every day, and I see who the judges keep, who the judges let go right away. Now, having said that, if you come in and you don't get pretrial released, and you go to see your initial appearance, and you get released, you're not getting out for a good 4 to 6 hours. So you are sitting in jail for a few hours or whatever, but. Yes, that's what we see. There are regulars that we see on a consistent basis that come in and just continue to get released. That's why the cashless bail system is, I think it takes away the judge's ability to hold those people accountable based on, okay, you know what? I'm giving you $1,000 bond today, which makes them sit in jail for 2 days. Okay, time served. Like, we allow that. But with cashless bail, they're like, all misdemeanors get released. All, nonviolent felonies get released. And we're just letting people out that are getting.
And this is legislation that's
being proposed. Yeah.
Being proposed.
Yep.
So backwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think, I think from what I've read from the polls and what we are hearing, so I'm just going to disclose right now, I'm not within a party, right? And what I'm looking for is some common sense. And to say that we're going to continue to tiptoe around this problem, and then you hear this kind of bill introduced, you know what I mean? I think listeners, if you're listening to this, you need to be paying attention because this affects all of us. So a cashless bail, they come in for their misdemeanor. There's no accountability. They don't have.
Judges have no power to hold them.
So
on
they're
anything.
just going, I'm promising to come back some point, maybe.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay. Now, I should be the devil's advocate, but the other side of that is that a lot of people have done studies on the racial aspect of who gets kept and who doesn't. Okay, so that's where this is stemming from. So I don't disagree that we should look at that. I don't disagree that should be an issue. If somebody of this race is getting released more than somebody of this race, but I do look at that on my court list. And it's obviously my own little private study that I do, but I look and see who's getting held on bonds, who's getting released, and what misdemeanors, and and we're all human too. The judges are human. It's just a matter of how they act in court. It matters that maybe they're in court, they're screaming at the judge, and the judge is like, "Okay, you're staying today." So it's very subjective, and so that's where the bill itself stems from. Just know that it's based on the potential to. Show favoritism to certain groups of people.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to look into that.
I think it's the 2619 HB 20. I think it's something like that.
Okay,
I can't remember.
Okay. All right. Sounds like we got the break music coming in. Anyway, so we're getting ready for this election. Why Heather Lappin?
Yeah, we need change. We absolutely need change. When I come in, I will be the very first female in the entire state of Arizona to have been elected to the office of sheriff. I bring in recent education. I bring in a lot of different leadership principles than we have had in decades. We have had decades of a good old boy system, and many of my opponents bring back that good old boy system, not just the incumbent, and I bring fresh leadership perspective that is proven. I've proven it.
Yeah. I want to thank you for
David,
coming.
I think you got time for another segment. You guys got time? We can do a quick ad break.
Let's
and
do
come
that.
back.
Let's do that. Let's keep Heather here.
Yeah, I'd like to. I think you're saying some good stuff, and I'd like to keep prodding that a little bit.
All right, and you're welcome to chime in there, Scott and Jeff.
Awesome.
All right, appreciate
that's
you.
Jeff, by the way.
All right, we'll see you after this ad break. Thank you.
Discover the power of 88 Crime,
Okay.
where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash.
When you call in anonymously with a tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net. We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles. Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
Are you looking to establish a powerful online presence for your brand? Look no further than Live the Dream Media. Our team of experts possess the capabilities and skills necessary to make it happen. From creating compelling content to analyzing data and making strategic decisions, we've got it covered. Don't let a lack of social media know-how hold you back. Visit ltdmedia.net for more information.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
Melissa Zuppi running for the...
All right. Welcome back. We took a quick little ad break, made some adjustments, and, let the seat cool off a little bit over here. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Again, I can't thank you enough for being here. And it's nice to be able to ask someone face-to-face these questions outside of this debate forum where it's, real controlled. And just like kind of awkward. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
like this
debates
long
are super
form.
awkward.
You know what I mean? Like, you get to just speak what's on your mind and talk about what your plans are. And you've done a great job coming on here. We've been blessed. Everybody that's come on here has had a lot of good answers, and it's really cool for the community here to connect on that.
For sure.
You were telling us why to pick Heather Lappin, and I want you to cover again for those that missed the first time you were here.
Okay.
Why you are running for Pima County Sheriff. What has motivated you to do so? What has happened in your career and in your life to prepare you for this?
Yep.
Can you run that down for us?
Absolutely. So I'm celebrating 20 years on the department in December.
Let's get that applause going for us over here.
December is my 20 years with the Pima County Sheriff's Department, but I did start off as a booker. So interesting, I started off as a booker pregnant. So I got the job pregnant with my second son. And then after I had him, I came back from maternity leave and I saw an advertisement for deputy. And I was like, okay, I never thought I'd get through, never thought I would pass, and I did. And so I started the academy, and then, interestingly enough, I got pregnant with my third child in the academy. So we make fun of her because she's been pepper sprayed. She's been, she was not tased. We waited on that, but she got pepper sprayed. She got padded assailant. She's jumped walls. But I've had a blessed career. I really have. I've done a lot of amazing things. I've gotten to be at the training center a ton and kind of create my my legacy, if you will, with the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and that was in training. I've had most of the jobs at the training center. I'm counselor, FTO coordinator. I got to travel around Arizona as a FTO SME. They used to call it that. They don't anymore. And that's field training officer, subject matter expert. So I would travel around with Arizona Post and train cops how to train cops, basically. Okay. That was so amazing for me to be able to do. Now, I did this with 3 young kids, right?
Yeah.
I had three babies. My oldest, when I started the academy, my oldest was 2.5, and my youngest was 6 months. So I had 2 babies going into the academy, and then I had a baby, and then they put me on midnights as my first shift. And but you learn from adversity, and you learn how to make it work. But my whole career has been really blessed with opportunities. I've been what I call a good girl. What I mean is I didn't rock the boat. I went with, whatever leadership was in, I just went with it. I was, I did a good job. I didn't rock the boat ever. I just did my job and, got recognized for it. And then I promoted through sergeant, lieutenant. As a lieutenant, I just celebrated 5 years as a lieutenant.
Congrats, yeah.
And it was a great experience. And then in 2020, Napier lost the election, right? He lost to Sheriff Nanos. And it was devastating for many of us. I'll just tell you that, because whether it should be or not, it's political. Okay, it's very political. You're either on their side or you're not on their side. So I knew my career with the Pima County Sheriff's Department was over at that point. And I had a choice. I could crawl under a rock and cry and blame them and hate them and drink poison and hope they died, right? But I chose not to do that. So what I did was I said, you know what? I'm just going to work on Heather. I went back to school. It took me 30 years to finish my bachelor's degree. And then I got my master's. I went to command colleges. I kept putting in to go to command colleges. I've been to Senior Management Institute of Police. I've been to Northwestern. I've been to, you can, name about 5 or 6 of the command colleges. And I just started reading. I was an avid reader, and when I say reading, I audio, just so you know.
Yeah.
And
Same.
when I drive, I listen. When I walk my dog, my boxers, I listen. And I just started soaking in, and I said, okay, so I'm creating my own path, despite this setback in my career. I'm going to figure out my own path, and by doing that, it set the stage. And then some doors opened and some doors closed. I had an opportunity to go work somewhere else and go be a commander with that person, and then that person got terminated. And so that door closed, and then the Board of Supervisors voted that we could run for office as employees. So this is the first time we've ever been able to do that, because I couldn't have gone and ran for office without a paycheck. Yeah. I had to continue because in the past you had to announce you were running for sheriff, and then you got put on unpaid admin leave. Wow. I couldn't do that. So the Board of Supervisors ruled that you could run for office and continue to work. It's been super difficult, let me just tell you.
Yeah.
But it's a thing, right? So that door opened, that door closed, and that kind of set the stage for. I didn't want it to be me. I fought it, and then finally I stood up, because even though I wasn't getting treated terribly, I was watching people get treated terribly. We have people in our agency that there's just a foundational leadership principle that I disagree with. That's the bottom line, and I don't want to throw stones. I just disagree with how they make the decisions. And I think the decisions need to be made with people first, me last, okay? I work for the people. When you make your decisions with ego and power and self-promotion at the forefront, you're making bad decisions. For example, the 2021 decision, that was an ego-based decision on retribution. That had nothing to do with health, okay? And that decision catastrophically changed the direction of the Pima County Sheriff's Department by putting us over budget by millions and millions of dollars, and by terminating good, hardworking employees, and then watching a quarter of your staff leave because they didn't want to get fired for that decision. And I think as a leader, you have to come in and you have to make decisions, whether you look good or not, whether I look good or not. I have to make these decisions with people first. So we recently had a sergeant, or I think somebody got in an accident, and they called him in to write him a ticket. He's a Midnights guy, so he got in an accident overnight. We have this thing called due process where you get to be, the accident gets to be investigated. That didn't happen. They made him come in so we could write him a ticket. Why was that done? That was done because we didn't want to look bad to the media. We wanted to look like we held our people accountable. I say, as a leader, you have to be able to withstand that scrutiny in order to provide your people with the due process. He still might have got a ticket. I'm not saying that's not happening, but you have to allow your people that due process and withstand the scrutiny, even if I don't look good. But it's an election season, so we're going to do everything we can to look good.
Yeah. A lot of our listeners are from the Northwest Tucson area and Marana. And, one thing people might be asking is, why does whoever's the sheriff matter to us, right?
Yeah.
Why does, or whoever's the sheriff, why does that matter to the citizens of Marana? They're going to go, hey, we have our own police department. We're good, right? We don't really need we don't need you, right? What can you tell to the residents and people who live on the Northwest Side and in Marana on how much your position affects the town of Marana?
Well, right now it affects the town of Marana a lot because the town of Marana in this administration has picked up, I don't know exact numbers, but I think it's around 30 of our deputies. And they're not brand new deputies. These are our trained, experienced, on-the-job, institutional knowledge people. And they all left to go to Marana. And I will tell you, one of them was next to be promoted to sergeant.
Wow.
And he said, you know what? I would rather be a officer with Marana than get those stripes. Another one was a phenomenal search and rescue deputy. He saved a life the week before he left to go to Marana. Saved a life. He came to the awards ceremony in Marana blue, right? And so these are wonderful people they're getting. They're not leaving because our agency is doing well. So Marana, you're benefiting from this administration being in. So I'm contradicting myself on why you should vote for me, but just know that the people, the decisions that are being made are going to affect the pocketbooks. And we have right now we have this, because of the staffing crisis that was created by this administration, we have this quantity over quality mentality. I'm not bad-mouthing any of our guys or girls. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is our standards used to be up here, and we've dropped them to here. We used to say, hey, you're not allowed to test if you have felonies. Well, guess what? Now apparently you're allowed to test. You used to have to come and used to have to jump a wall. You don't have to do that anymore. You come and show up and breathe, and they're like, oh, good, you can pass. You can go on to the next step. We lowered our written test from 70 to 60. Our standards have lowered. So it's a quantity over quality mentality. I will change that. I will reverse that 100%. I would rather be short, and many of the people on the street agree with me. We would rather be short than lower our standards. And you can see from a lot of the news stories that have come out, reference people in the Pima County Sheriff's Department, how that's affecting us. And I think that's the tip of the iceberg. I don't think we've seen the consequences to these leadership decisions. Right. And I think that is a huge reason Marana should care, because it's going to affect pocketbooks.
Right. Not only that, the Pima County Sheriff's Department is a big resource for these smaller municipalities, right? SWAT, stuff like that, negotiations and stuff like that. Those go through Pima County Sheriff's Department, correct? Is that still happening?
We have our SWAT, our regional bomb squad. We have, and then the newest Pima County, it's PCRIT. It's the shooting, the team
okay,
that
I know
they
you're
have.
saying, yeah.
Sorry,
I can't remember the name.
PCRIT, PRICIT. I'm sorry, I don't know the acronym. So we do a lot of things together, and we've historically been a leading law enforcement agency in Arizona with equipment, with training. We've been historically. That's why I joined the Pima County Sheriff's Department, because we were so we were leading. We didn't make as much as everybody else, but we had the best equipment. We had the take-home cars. And you knew if you called a deputy, business was getting handled, right? That's how we are, or that's how we were, is what I would say.
Yeah.
And I want to get back there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Well, thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that. I think that was important for
sure
folks in Marana to hear. Okay, so going to the academy. So you're bringing in this quantity over quality mentality. How is that working out in the academy?
Quality over quantity. That's what I'm bringing in.
Yeah. No, sorry. That's what's in there. Sorry, you're bringing in the other one. But how's the current method working out in the academy? Because I think I had disclosed this to you that I went to a conference last year in Denver, and I had the opportunity to sit with leaders in a lot of different police departments throughout the United States. And they all had a very similar thing going on where their standards had dropped for they just trying to bring people in. But when they were getting into the academy, half of them or more were not making it through the academy.
Right.
Is that still occurring?
And so we're not seeing that because we are I don't know what the word is. We are forced to make sure they succeed. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, okay.
I won't dive in more into that, but I get what you're saying.
And then, I worked at the academy for a long time. So we were getting people, and we basically had to beg, this person isn't going to get through. This person is coming in at, morbidly obese, or this person, I can't get them to get over the wall. I can't get them to lose enough weight to get over the wall in the amount of time that you give me in these 20 weeks or 22 weeks, right? And so the academy staff is put at a disadvantage because they're being forced to also, figure out how to make these people get through.
Wow. Okay. Regarding the academy, I got just a personal question for you, and then we're gonna cut out of here.
Okay.
Out of the different use of force elements, your getting tased, being pepper sprayed, and I think you got tear gas too, right? Did you get the gas?
I did
CS
not
gas?
get the
You
gas.
get CS gas?
No, usually that's in SWAT. You'll get gas in SWAT, and then I think the DOC does the gas.
Okay. That's why I was thinking that, because I got gas too. Out of those two, which is the worst?
The pepper spray. All day, every day.
Why?
I don't know if you can see me, but I'm basically translucent here. And your skin type matters. My light blue eyes. So it affected me. I got this big old burn on my lip when I got pepper sprayed.
Whoa.
I literally sat and rocked in front of a fan for like 3 days and just drooled. I would get tased every single day of my life to not get pepper sprayed again. Like, that's how bad pepper spray.
Oh my gosh.
I would never do that again.
So I had been pepper sprayed many times before when I worked at DOC, because even when we would utilize it, we used this stuff called Phantom.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it was like the molecular size was significantly smaller than the standard, so it would just like go in you, like in your soul.
Yes.
just start chipping away at your life. But so we're in the academy, and I remember we're getting close to like the week 13, and people, they knew where I came from, so they were asking, dude, what is it like? What's it like? And I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. It'll be over real quick. Just completely BSing, like, oh, it'll be fine, no worries. Like, I knew that it was like going to be horrible. I knew that for like 4 or 5 hours I was going to die.
Right.
But everybody that came and asked, and I saw people walk up into that line all confident, like it was going to be okay, and it was not okay. I apologize to those people for doing that to you. But I was actually doing you a favor, because if you would have thought about it more, it would have been worse. Just letting you know.
I think so. But I will tell you a funny story. So we don't do this anymore. But when I was in the academy, the day was over, right? So you got to go in, you got to decontaminate yourself, the whole thing. But then you had to drive home. Sorry, my back. I literally couldn't. I had to drive like this because I was driving home, trying to hold my eyes open so I could see the road, and then I had to pull over, and I just sat there for like an hour because I couldn't even see, because it was just so, I was so affected by it.
And
this
then
seems like a great recruiting tool for screening people just right now.
Just spray them when they come in for the written.
Yeah, just hop right in. If you survive this, you're in, friend.
You're done.
Yeah.
I saw grown men crying on the ground in the fetal position.
Oh, yeah.
And crawling.
Oh, yeah. So working at the academy for as long as I did,
saw it all the time.
You see everything, but I couldn't even be near it. Like it was a joke, even when I was, because I'm a defensive tactics instructor, and you have to spray people as a DT instructor. And so I would spray, and then I would run, because if I even get a whiff of it, I'm gagging, I'm coughing, I'm throwing up. I'm like, it affects me. So
Were you doing the nice casual Z?
Yeah. Just
eyes, nose, mouth.
Well, we don't do eyes anymore.
Oh, no.
We do forehead.
What? Why not the eyes?
Well, if you look at the studies of it, the pepper itself, even though it's grained up, if you rub your eye, you'll scratch your cornea. Yeah, so we were getting some, yeah. So we just spray the forehead.
The old school way is gone. All right.
I got it in the eyes.
So, that's kind of how that went. And did you get a reactivation period at home when you showered?
Yes,
That
or
sucked.
the
I
oven,
did
the
not.
shower, and the stove. As soon as because I had to cook for the kids.
Oh, the heat. It it's so
and
weird.
like it would just be in random spots all over your body. Like, why is this burning right here? You know.
So if you're looking to get into law enforcement, just know that you will have to go through the inevitable pepper spraying. You know what? I didn't get tased though.
You didn't?
I didn't do it. They showed me like, hey, you want to get tased? I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to get tased.
You don't have to get tased.
It's a peer pressure thing from your class, but I didn't get tased because I had found out I was pregnant by that point. So later on in my when I was on patrol, I was on swings, and one of my sergeants called me in, and he knew me from the academy. He goes, "Take your belt off. I'm tasing you."
Yeah. And true story, I never once used mine.
Yeah.
Never even.
Yeah.
I pulled it out once, but
I
I never.
pulled it out a couple times.
But I never had to use it.
Yeah.
It changes people's perspective. They see the little dot on them. Yeah, I'm good.
Exactly.
Well, Heather, it was fun. It was good to close out that way.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Good luck with everything. We'll
Thank
be
you.
watching, all right?
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash.
When you call in anonymously with the tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net. We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles. Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
Are you looking to establish a powerful online presence for your brand? Look no further than Live the Dream Media. Our team of experts possess the capabilities and skills necessary to make it happen. From creating compelling content to analyzing data and making strategic decisions, we've got it covered. Don't let a lack of social media know-how hold you back. Visit ltdmedia.net for more information.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
Hi, I'm Melissa Zuppi, running for the Marana Town Council. As a resident of Marana, I've witnessed the positive growth that has created a strong community where people in all stages of life want to live. Unfortunately, with growth comes traffic. One of my top priorities and goals is to work towards securing funding for the improvement of Marana's high-traffic I-10 interchanges and local roadways. Let's keep Marana moving forward together. Vote Melissa Zuppi, Marana Town Council.
Hi.
Sorry, Ed. We are running out of time.
Yeah. Everybody's got planes to catch.
No, some of you.
We have mandatory Hawaiian vacations.
yeah.
Mandatory penalty Hawaiian
Oh,
vacations.
yeah.
Scott, that poor guy, man.
Yeah,
I
I feel
for him.
bad for that dude.
What a mess.
Yeah. Really, I feel bad for his wife because
know.
she's got to go with this guy that's being punished with a Hawaiian trip. So I got a lot of sympathy for her. Good segment with
Yeah.
Heather Lappin.
It's a different seat this time, and I kind of had let her know that, hey, this is what we're getting from the polling. This is what we're seeing in the debates, and it's the opioid crisis, and then the unhoused issue. Like now we're at the point I think in this political season, if we're going to be the people that, if we're going to be a channel that people go to talk and to, promote their campaigns and speak of what's on their mind and what they're going to change. I think it's part of our responsibility to ask questions like that.
It is.
And the questions weren't because I was bored and that's what these are actually, hey, can you do this?
We've got to have open dialogue about these. Yeah. These are problems that are not going to go away without serious community buy-in. I heard her say that at one point. So
So we have a $25 gift certificate here, gift card to Lucky Wishbone.
Woohoo!
That we have put as a free giveaway today. And we are going to announce the winner right now. So Nikki Simpson, who
way to go, Nikki,
chimed in on Facebook, is the winner of this. So if you want to come get this from our studio or need it some other way, just make sure you message us, Nikki, and reach out to us, and we will get this to you. We will have more stuff coming up on the next episode when we're back with Edgar Soto from Texas Roadhouse. We've got a really cool gift to give away on our show from Texas Roadhouse. So thank you, Texas Roadhouse, for providing us with those to do that. And you know what? I think we're done for the day. I gotta go. I'm gonna go fly around. I'm gonna go help some people. Then I'm gonna go to Washington.
Hey, happy birthday, America! 248.
Happy birthday.
Be safe.
US-of-A.
Be safe. Have fun. And be nice to each other. Be nice to each other this weekend.
Yeah, I know it's the political season and you got your parties and stuff, but if you do, like you say, if you talk to somebody and ask them what top 8 things matter to you the most of them are going to be the same.
Yeah. So figure out ways to build bridges to make those things happen for each other.
Yeah.
Everybody be cool.
If you want to come on the show, reach out to us. And we'll see if we can get you on here. We are booked out a couple weeks, maybe even a month over, but we will do our best to get you on. And we appreciate you so much for listening and chiming in and watching our program. We look forward to growing this more. Thank you, Scott and Jeff, for holding it down in the box. You guys are awesome. Have a great holiday weekend. Go US of A. The Olympics.